Hey everyone, it's Jack. With All-Stars 8 slowly coming to an end and the fame game starting to build up, I've started to realize I don't like this twist that much. The way it's being done and promoted, I just feel like it's going to end up super anticlimactic at the end, and especially when compared to other twists of All-Stars, it just doesn't really hold up. Now, don't get me wrong, the concept itself has a lot of great reception behind it because I think they should just be doing this on every season. The queens spend a lot of money, they deserve to be able to highlight their art on this platform and be able to win money at the end. So for the concept alone, this is perfect, but as the main twist of the season, I just kind of want more. With my All-Stars 2 video going over super well and me just loving talking about All-Stars in general, I want to go over each of the twists from each of the seasons and talk about the impact of them on the show and whether it was a good idea in retrospect. What you need to know now is that each of the All-Star seasons kind of lives or dies by the twist when it comes to quality. If it's executed well, we end up with Revenge of the Queens and the episode we're talking about today, or if it's executed poorly, we still end up talking about it today and talk about queens that were robbed and all that. Either way, the All-Stars twist end up defining the season, whether that's for the better or for the worse. And for this episode's case, it is for the better, Silky's Smackdown from All-Stars 6. Before I jump into the episode, I just want to say, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Y'all really turned out for last video, so I really appreciate that, and I have more coming along the way. Out of every twist that they've done on any season of Drag Race, I believe that All-Stars 6 is the best one. And I think it's for a couple of reasons. I think a twist on Drag Race should impact the show in a way that we can see it, but not fully change the outcome of the season. Something like the jury in the late game of All-Stars 3 really affects the season and the outcome of it. While in All-Stars 6, though it came late into the season, there was still enough time for the twist to happen, make its impact, but still balance out by the end. So as viewers, we end up remembering it as a crucial part, but not the thing that fully shifted the season. It just serves the perfect balance for a reality show format that pretends to have a lot of structure and rules when in reality it doesn't really. They can kind of just do whatever they want. That's a whole different topic about All-Stars and just like the competition of Drag Race in general, but I won't get into that today. When minimal people complain about a twist on Drag Race, that's how you know it worked well. The most people were complaining about was TKB not making it to the finale, which is a valid critique. If they had this twist one episode earlier, I feel like it could have been perfect in fairness for the competition, but the choice of putting it right at the end makes full sense for storyline. Much like the twist on All-Stars 2 that had to do with the theme of the season being revenge, the Smackdown is all about redemption, which just so happens to be the theme of the season. Everyone except for maybe Scarlett, Akira, and Pandora got some form of redemption over the season, a lot of people getting it in this episode. For those who need a refresher who may have not seen the episode or may have not seen it in a while, over the course of the competition, there was a game within a game. Each week, 2 of the eliminated queens go head to head in a lip sync for your life, with the winning queen moving on to the next round and the next week, facing the person who was just eliminated that episode. So we start after episode 2 with Serena and Jiggly, and the game went all the way up to episode 9 with the most recent elimination being Eureka. Because the twist is taking place and being filmed throughout the competition, and then is aired really close to the end of the season, we get such a good refresher of how far we've come in the competition, who we've lost along the way, and it just kind of wraps a bow on so many of the storylines of the season. It could be small redemptions, for example, Jiggly getting to redeem herself by lip syncing and making it to the next round, and though she didn't make it all the way, it was really nice seeing that little moment of her getting that win because she wanted to fight for it back in episode 2. Jen was often critiqued, and especially for her only lip sync of the season before this, was very much critiqued for how she lip synced to these songs, and then here she pulled out an amazing performance and easily her best that we've seen on the show. But of course, the biggest redemption is Silky, who often got a lot of critiques on her lip syncing back in season 11. She made up one half of the infamous No Scrubs lip sync against Nina West, and since that moment, it's kind of been a legacy that's followed Silky around. 1 or 2 good lip syncs here could have scrubbed Silky's record clean, and everyone would have probably forgotten about No Scrubs or brought it up a little bit, but not too much. But of course, Silky transcends the redemption and goes on to a full new title of Lip Sync Guru after she wins 6 in a row. And the best part is that the lip syncs are all varied with how she performs. You're not really getting the exact same thing every time. The one thing, yes, though she does have a prop for basically every single lip sync, it's not the same type of prop or reveal every time. So you end up wondering, oh, what is she gonna pull out for one of these songs? And I just find that extremely entertaining. I think everyone who started out the episode learning the concept had their preconceived idea of who was gonna do good and who they're gonna root for. But after maybe the 3rd time Silky won, there's this subtle shift in the edit to basically focus the episode on Silky. They're able to have their cake and eat it too, focus on the redemption of all the queens, but hone it in so heavily on one queen, and we get to just enjoy that journey. And like I said earlier, because it takes place over the course of the season behind the scenes, it does feel like a journey. Win after win, queen after queen, you appreciate how far we've come, how far Silky's come, and it all leads up to the present with Eureka going in with basically no information like the rest of us. Watching this season live with no spoilers, I was so confused when they were gonna do this game within a game twist, because past seasons, a lot of the time the twists happen halfway through the season, and the only time it happened late was with the jury jury, and we all saw how that one went. So for them to continuously hype this twist up, it would be tough for them to really stick the landing, and yet they did. And though I do love this concept, it's a type of twist that I hope we never see again on the show. With each mid-season Lollapalooza becoming more standard and expected, it makes this one stand out more with the years going on. Much like the twist in All-Stars 2, it's really like catching lightning in a bottle with everything that lined up to make this episode feel so perfect. I also want to briefly touch on other things that I really liked about this episode, like the editing and the formatting. Like I said earlier, I really like the shift in the perspective of the episode, where it starts out with all the queens coming in trying to redeem themselves, but it slowly shifts towards Silky just ruling the episode. But whereas Silky has a full grasp on what's happening behind the scenes, the other perspective of the episode is following the 4 queens who are in the top 4. Obviously, I don't know why I said that twice. One of my absolute favorite things they've done on Drag Race that started in this episode is having the queens react to something on the TV screen in the workroom. Queens' reactions to lip syncs are a staple on the show, and I think it goes really underappreciated when they include them in the episodes. I just don't think people realize how much energy can shift when there are cheers, when there are reactions to it, because it just doubles down on the emotions we're already feeling. But in a majority of the lip syncs, it's basically just a smash cut of a confessional or just the cheers in the background. In All-Stars 5, the queens were then allowed to sit in chairs, and they were able to get a ton more reaction shots out of them. And in this episode of All-Stars 6, it's just hours of reaction footage that they could put in wherever, funny commentary. I love it so much. And it seems like the showrunners loved it too, because they brought it back for 14 and 15 with their Lollapaloozas. At the very least, we get fun reactions or funny commentary, and at most, they can even shift the storylines of who they want to win the lip syncs. The queen sitting there and watching it can be like, oh, I think this person won because they did this, and this. And that could just further justify the outcome of the lip syncs that the producers want. And outside of the funny commentary in the workroom, in general, this episode is just funny. And every week, Rue just seems really into it, providing really fun commentary or just jokes and laughing at things.
Yes, me, bitch! It's me, bitch! In accordance with All-Star rules, of which there are many. Okay. So you want to lip sync for your legacy all by yourself?
Why not?
Aren't you afraid of losing?
No.
One All-Star stands before me. Oh, who am I kidding? Hit it! Silky Nutmeg Ganache. You are out your damn mind.
Okay.
It's either Diana Ross or
a Yeti.
Silk with a good milk.
Jan, she's a man.
Though everyone was basically working overtime with this, the spirits were extremely high, and you could just feel that with each passing lip sync. And something else that you can feel with each passing lip sync is the fight that each of these queens has to get back in the competition, and that's just another reason to bring Lip Sync for Your Life to All-Stars, or at least in general show why Lip Sync for Your Life is better. I think queens just end up going so much harder when their run in the competition is in jeopardy, as opposed to when they're already winning the challenge and they're kind of just on a victory lap. I have the urge to say in conclusion like it's an essay in school because I don't really know how to wrap this one up. In conclusion, this was the perfect episode to enter the finale of All-Stars 6, giving a good refresher to how we got here in the season, a lot of redemption to a lot of queens, especially Silky, and a revamped version of a format that's still being used today. It's such a unique episode that really holds your attention the whole time, even though it doesn't follow any standard Drag Race format, and it's almost so good that it makes you forget about the episodes that surround it. The monologue episode right after, and especially Drag Tots right before, I always forget, and my only reminder is that they're literally wearing the Drag Tots outfits in the episode. Out of every single season in any episode, this one definitely overshadows the episodes around it the most, and that's a really good thing for this episode, but sometimes I do forget the late game of All-Stars 6 because I'm enjoying the early game and this episode so much. But regardless, I think this twist is so close to perfection, and they pulled it off super well without really having a format that they followed beforehand. Hopefully you understand my perspective and enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna keep doing these All-Stars twist videos and just more All-Stars videos in general as All-Stars 8 is airing. Make sure you like and subscribe, follow me on all my other social media linked in the description. Any sponsorships, please hit me up, and I'll see you soon with another video.